When you see the whole world shaking and you feel your heart is breaking, take my hand, no hesitating. When you're just so tired of trying, all alone you feel like hiding. Together we'll keep fighting. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Feelings will take in the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Can you see the sun is shining like a new hope? Feel it rising, coming over the horizon. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Feelings will take in the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. There's no stopping.
Okay, I think I'm live now. I'm sorry, it's 7:16. I went into my software program a different way, and it was actually for recording. It wasn't for going live. I'm actually live now. It's 7:16 as I come online here. Just checking it's actually for recording. It wasn't for going live. Okay, so my sound is good. Sorry about that. I'm Chris Gargiulo, and associate broker for eXp Realty. This is my podcast, Real Estate with Mr. G, and we talk about current events in the real estate market. And if you wish, you could comment. And I also upload these podcasts, which would then only be in the audio sense, right, to Spotify on a weekly basis. So you could watch me. I have it on my blog. You could always go to my blog and go to Broadcast Live, and I post the previous shows. You could watch me there, or you could listen to me, and like if you're working out, if you're running, if you're relaxing, you could listen to me on Spotify, okay? And I'm hoping everything is working now. I think it is. So we have an interesting show today because I'm going to we're going to talk about a shifting market, what's happening now in the real estate industry. And the article that was posted on my blog this week will talk about the benefits of being a buyer, but then we're going to also bring in the seller side and give the seller side good tips with a video that I have. So it's an exciting show, and you should learn a lot. So let me do my little preview, and we'll go right into the matter. Okay. I had a busy day today. Actually, I had to do something for my church. By the way, it's August 13th. I always like to say the date. So if you're listening to me on a podcast, you know what date it is. This is August 13th of 2022. And I'm on the vestry of my church. I'm also the what's called a junior warden. And the junior warden is involved with the upkeep and the care of the property itself, which is, a good role for a real estate agent or realtor, which I am. Just paid my realtor fee for the next year, so I'm definitely a realtor. I want to use that term. It's just a little side note. It's called Safe Church Training, and it's very important is to be aware of between children and adults to make sure that they're safe in all different matters. Let me just leave it that way. So I had a busy day. It was a beautiful church in Norfolk. Had a wonderful time. One of the parishioners made a beautiful, beautiful lunch. Actually, a breakfast as well with my wife because she's on Christian formation. And we had a very, very good time. And we were with many nice people from other churches all throughout the Hampton Roads of Virginia, even the Eastern Shore, which I thought that was interesting. And the moderator was wonderful as well. So we had a good time. So I had a shift from church stuff to real estate stuff. Okay. So we are in this what's called a shifting market. And I guess it's, well, the word recession has been on the lips of, from newscasters to people in economics. And we're really not in a recession right now. Usually when the Federal Reserve raises rates, right? And again, that's the amount of, that's the interest rate for when banks borrow money from the Federal Reserve, right? They don't keep hundreds and thousands of dollars in their banks, or going up to maybe a million, whatever. All right, they usually then borrow it, and I guess most of it too is not just like physical money, but wiring of money. Okay, so when they borrow that from the Federal Reserve, there's an interest charge on that. That's the cost of borrowing it. Okay, and then that cost is reflected then, all right, to pick up that increase in the Fed funds rate. That's passed on to the consumer when it comes to credit cards and car loans, but not mortgage, not directly. All right, it affects it indirectly. All right, so when we see the Fed funds rate go up, we can assume that the mortgage rates will go up. But again, it's not a direct causation, right? It's not going directly, all right, the Fed rates went up, 0.75 of a point, now mortgage rates will do that. No, but it's going to be like an offshoot of that. And the reason why the Federal Reserve does that, because when the economy is good, and it's actually good in the sense that people are buying and they have money, and people are returning to work, and they spend more and more and more, okay? But sometimes when that comes about, there's like a little economics lesson, okay? As people put in more and more orders, which it's great for the company that's selling those goods, all right, or manufacturing those goods, but now they need more capital, right, to either buy supplies or pay for the manufacturing of that item. And they may need, and in most situations, to borrow money from the banks. But if the rates are high, they might not do that, okay? And actually, with certain items that people are buying that they may not have the cash for them. Let's say they're buying a big screen TV that's $2,000. They might not have that in cash, but they'll put it on a credit card. But if the credit card rate goes up higher, they may say, okay, I'm going to cut back on my spending, all right, because it's too expensive, all right? So people will cut back. And hopefully that cutting back and people having, or companies having large supplies of inventory, then they start bringing down prices. That's the wish. Like right now, with Target, for example, all those items that were on the boats like 4, 5, 6 months ago, because of the problems with the chain of transit, of getting items like from boats to the stores, right? We had that problem, but now it's kind of worked its way out. I don't think it's 100% perfect, but now these products that were like, for a couple of months being delayed, and probably even more than a couple of months being delayed, they're hitting the stores. So now, stores like Target have too much inventory and they're offering good prices, okay? So if they have a great amount of supplies, and maybe if demand goes down a little bit, those prices will go down. And that's what they're hoping would happen. So the same thing goes for homes, because now with the interest rates going up, there's a segment of the buyers. If you look at the pool of buyers, there's going to be a certain percentage of that pool of buyers. And maybe next week I'll do like a pie chart. They're just in the market because rates are very, very good. You could say, there's a great sale, like we're coming up now to September and October when this year's cars are going out, and there's a brand new set of cars coming in for 2023, right? So they're going to have sales on the cars that have been, made for 2022. So a lot of people who, if the rate for loans, the interest rate on the loans were down, a lot of people would say, okay, I don't need a new car, but the rates are so great, I'm going to buy one. Okay, I'm going to go in there. Okay, but now with interest rates going up as well with car loans, people will say, well, my car is fine. I'll keep it. It's still running well. It looks good. I'm going to keep it. So, there's a drop out of that pool of buyers that it will no longer buy because of interest rates. The same thing with the housing market. There's going to be a segment of that pool of buyers that are going to drop out and say, well, my house is fine. The money that I would put down on the down payment, I'll do some renovations on the house. I'll fix it up. I'm good with it. I would definitely buy a house at mortgage rates under 3%, but now they're, over 5% and they might go up to 6%. I could wait. But the ones that are in the market are the ones that definitely have to move. They might be on a job transfer. They might be, if they're with the military, which we have a lot here, maybe being sent to another part of the United States of America, and they need to find a new home. Could be other things. People go through a divorce, and they're splitting up the house, and they're selling it, and then the wife is buying a house, the husband is buying a house, or the ex-wife and the ex-husband, and they're the ones who are truly in the market. There's people who have been saving up, they've been renting, and they're tired of renting and having their money go down the drain. They're not building equity. They don't have a tax deduction, and they're ready to buy. Okay. So actually, in today's market, you really have those who are determined to purchase because, you know, they're not just speculating to see, all right, let me, at 3% interest rate, let me see what I could get. But the ones that are looking now with rates at 5.5, they're really dedicated buyers. So they're really looking. So let's look at our text for today. Let me bring that up here. And like I said, I always like making myself into that little bubble. And I think if I do that and I do this, and I'm in a little bubble next to the PDF, and I kind of like that one. And I'm going to get rid of my my ticker going across, so which says, and I'm waiting for it to come up again. Is the shifting market a challenge or an opportunity for home buyers? So we read that. We're happy. We're going to take that off right now and just have the screen for the PDF file. Okay. Okay. So if you tried to buy a home during the pandemic, you know that the limited supply of homes for sale was a considerable challenge. It created intense bidding wars, which drove up home prices up as buyers competed with one another to be the winning offer. But what has been your greatest challenge may now be your greatest opportunity. Today, data shows buyer demand is moderating, right? Less people in the market in the wake of higher mortgage rates. Here are a few reasons why this shift in the housing market is good news for your home buying plans. You say, oh, the rates are going up. This is good news over here. Okay. Now, what we're going to talk about next is a little bit of apart from the interest rates, but really from the market crash of 2008, there haven't been that many homes being built. Developers have actually kept back from building homes. And if we go down to this graph here, we see, and this goes back to 2011, and actually this is probably like the tail end of the housing bubble. But we see how it drops then into 2012. It actually drops a lot. Goes up a little bit, but then it drops more in 2013. But let's go all the way to the end of the graph and we get into January of 2021 and January of 2022. You have really the valley points here. Actually, in 2022 is even worse. There's probably just a little below 2 million homes being built. But now we're seeing a little spike because, again, the economy is getting better. So it's beginning to show that more homes are being built, but we still need more inventory. Hint, hint, if you're out there ready to sell, we need your properties. Please contact me, okay, to list your property. So what the opportunity is, like even though we had a big dip in inventory, it's going up a bit. It's between some more homes being built, but also with people putting their homes on the market because, and the main reason is that hopefully, if you could see me with my fingers crossed, let me go back over here in my little bubble here, that this pandemic is over. I mean, just yesterday, the CDC said, if you are shown that you have the COVID-19, you don't have to quarantine yourself. And I think the reason why is that because so many people got the vaccine, they got the first and the second, and then they got the boosters. And basically, it's not saying that we won't get COVID-19 or whatever version we're up to, but if we get it, it'll just be mild. It'll be like a cold, and we will not have to be hospitalized or going on a breathing device. So that's good. So this going back to the opportunity for buyers, that the pace of the home sales with the less people in the market, housing supply is finally able to grow. It's actually homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. And when you have more homes to choose from, of course, you have more options. You don't have to pick like the very first one you saw and go crazy and go to your agent, hopefully me, and say, we got to write a contract. We got to write a contract. We got to get it out tonight before all these other contracts come in. And we are moving away from that. And because of that, we're having less intense bidding wars. Okay? And that's a good thing, too, because no one really wants to bid with 6 or 7 other people. All right. And here they're showing in the chart the bidding wars are going down. Actually, they've gone down quite a bit from April. There's still amount. I mean, if your house is really kind of move-in ready that you're putting on the market, and it's been updated, and basically the new buyer has the only thing they have to do is put in a key and turn. It's a turnkey thing, and they move in. Those houses you may have more competition on it. You may have a few offers on it, but ones that may still need some work. Perhaps not that many, or maybe you just get one offer on it. I'm thinking the ones, or my experience has been the ones that are move-in ready and they've been updated. They have a new kitchen, a new bath. They have the new vinyl floors, the premium vinyl, which is a combination of wood and vinyl, and they're very resilient. And other renovations that you might do, these are the ones that most likely will still have a bidding war on. And I want to back this up because a lot of the articles that I that are posted from my source is actually called KCM, Keeping Current Matters. They're usually very much like on the positive side, but I wanted to bring in an article. I subscribe to Barron's and the Wall Street Journal and Fortune and the New York Times, and I like to get different viewpoints in. So it's not just this one source that's saying, all right, it might be a turning point for buyers. They're actually being very honest. They're telling you, we still need more of a supply of homes. It's getting better, but we still need a more supply of homes. So they're telling you the truth. But here you're seeing, excuse me, homes are staying on the market longer. We finally hit the turning point, and this came out just about 2 days ago. All right. For the first time since the early days of the pandemic, homes for sale in the U.S. spent more time on the market than the year before. It's the latest evidence of balance returning to a housing market that has spiraled furiously forward. And the economist for the realtor, Danielle Hale, we finally hit the turning point. All right. So, and it's talking about inventory too. It's rising. For one, inventory is expanding, giving people more option. Realtor.com's count of active listings rose 31% year over year in July, the highest monthly level since November 2020, though still off pre-pandemic levels. So it's getting better. It's not where it could be, but it's getting better. All right. So I wanted to give you like a second viewpoint, like a second opinion on the market, just to show, like I'm giving you more than one source, which is I think it's a good thing. All right, so let me put this back up here and making me nice and the bigger. So what I want to do now, because I said we're going to bring in the seller side too. So there's a nice little video here, and it's only like It's not even like maybe a little bit over a minute, and then we'll just go over the viewpoints on that. It's called 3 Tips for Sellers for Selling Your House Right Now. Okay, so basically with that video, what they're saying, and it ends with, please speak to a real estate professional. I would love to list your home, but be more realistic when it comes to pricing your home. Let your agent, me, do a CMA on your property, a comparative market analysis. I usually do 2. I do one that's computer generated through my corporation. I mean, where I have my license, it's not my corporation. And then I'll run my own comps too, and see if they kind of gel. And pricing a property, like some people think it's easy, just put in the numbers. But then you really have to look at photos and see what properties have been updated. You know, you have to look too at the utilities that are around the neighborhood, or the frills. You know, if it's near a shopping center. You know, if it's it seems to be an area that's developing. It's near a school. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into account when it comes to pricing a property, and your agent really has to look at the different properties, the different comps that are coming up, and to really then to zero into a price. And that's what I do. I don't go willy-nilly. And the majority of the times, I think all the times, I've been right in pricing a property. I had people who, you know, I went with what they wanted to list it at, and which I did not recommend. And I listed at that and didn't sell. And then they gave it to another agent. And I kept an eye on it. And then it finally sold for what I said it should sell for. So, you know, a lot of people have an emotional attachment to their properties, and they can't see it going for less than this and that. But you got to be realistic. You got to be objective, as the video said. Now, what you could do too is go to my blog, and I have these wonderful guides that you could download free of charge. Things to consider when buying a home. The summer of 2022 edition. These come out quarterly. So actually, by next month, we'll probably have the fall 2022 edition. And we also have it for selling your home. And again, these are guides just to give you the background, what's, you know, the strategy behind that. But then you contact me, and I will follow through with this and help you either sell your home or find your next one. And where do you get this wonderful information from? Okay. And you get it from down here to the left, Real Estate with Mr. G blog / resource materials. Okay. And actually, when you go to my blog, you'll see a menu bar there, and you'll see resource materials. You click on that, and you could download it free of charge. Isn't that good news? Isn't that the happiness that you could do something like that? And I'm trying my... Okay, there it goes. All right, yeah. All right, thank you. All right, okay, all right. I don't know why where I have to click to make that go right away. Okay. And I could actually do a drum roll. Bring it up. I see. Okay. All right, now I got it. Now I know how to do it. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. I really apologize on that. It was a little too much. Okay. All right. So I'm hearing from my producer, William Burgess, that we might have a special guest, and actually they have a dog in the audience. Is that true?
Chris, great news. We have two famous people, well, at least one is a person in the audience. I seem to be the only young person who remembers this brilliant act. They appeared on TV a fair bit, such as The Ed Sullivan Show. He would instruct the dog to do various tricks, but the dog totally ignored him. His catchphrase was "He hears me." Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Williams and Louie.
It was great seeing them again. I remember seeing them on Ed Sullivan. They're looking good. So anyway, that's our show for today, and I thank you for watching and listening. Please contact me with any questions. Wherever you're seeing this, you could send me a message. If you're ready to buy, let me know. If you're ready to sell, let me know as well. All right? So I'll see you next week. Be kind to each other, and remember, the greatest power we have is the love, and the greatest gift is each other. And I'll see you next week.